See, I tell people this all the time. Everybody wanna shine under the lights, but don't nobody wanna grind in the dark. Rich Stevens, that man, he lived in the dark. And still, he got his shot under them bright lights. This ain't just a story about a ball player. This right here is a lesson in grit, perseverance, and what it means to never stop believing. So sit back, 'cause I'm about to break it down for you. Now let me take y'all back to Tulsa, Oklahoma, mid-1980s. While most folks were focused on flash and flare, this young buck named Rich Stevens was laying down concrete foundations at the University of Tulsa. He wasn't flashy. He wasn't a Heisman headline. But he was real. From 1985 to 1988, this man strapped up for the Golden Hurricane, putting in that unglamorous work on the offensive line. See, the O-line? That's the heartbeat. No one's chanting your name unless you mess up. But that's where warriors are made. Stevens didn't play for glory. He played for respect. The kind of respect that earns nods from your teammates, not just claps from the crowd. And by the time he finished his senior year, he was on the radar. Not the top-tier radar, but the kind that whispers, "This kid's got something." The NFL draft. You got legends going off the board early. Troy Aikman, Barry Sanders. But in the 9th round, a name gets called. Rich Stevens, drafted by the Cincinnati Bengals. Now let me tell y'all something. Making the league is like climbing Everest. Getting drafted in the 9th round, that's like starting halfway up the mountain with sandals on. But Rich, he didn't care what round. He was in. He had cracked open the door to the NFL. But here's where it gets tough. Stevens never saw the field in Cincinnati. He was cut before making the final roster. Now imagine working your whole life for a shot. You get to the door and boom, locked again. That break a lot of men, but not Rich. After the NFL door slammed, Stevens could have quit. But no. He took a different route. World League of American Football. WAF. That's right. The grind league. No bright lights. No luxury buses. But Rich laced up every Sunday like it was the Super Bowl. 1991, 1992. Rich was out there in the trenches, sharpening his craft, taking hits from men just as hungry as he was. He went overseas, played in stadiums where fans barely knew his name. That man had every excuse to walk away. But instead, he just kept on climbing. And let me tell you all, diamonds are made under pressure. Then came 1993. The Los Angeles Raiders gave him a shot. Just a shot, you hear me? Not a guarantee, not a promise. Just a chance. You hear me? And Rich Stevens, he took that chance and ran with it. Played 29 games over 2 seasons, started 2, filled in at both offensive guard and tackle. Now to the casual fan, that don't sound like much. But to a player, that's everything. That means you made it. That means you fought your way back into the NFL. After being cut, after going to Europe, after everyone stopped calling. Rich was what you call a utility knife on that O-line. Plug him in wherever, and he'd go and do his job. See, the Raiders ain't just a team. They are mentality. Al Davis built a culture where misfits, underdogs, and castaways became legends. You ain't got to be pretty, you just got to be tough. Rich Stevens embodied that. He didn't light up highlight reels, but in the locker room, in the film room, on the sideline, he was a Raider, the kind who earned his place, not with talk, but with tape. Even after his playing days ended, Rich stayed connected to that Raider ethos. And when the Las Vegas Raiders dropped their statement mourning his loss, it hit different. When a Raider dies, it ain't just a player leaving. It's a brother, a part of the shield. Now listen, we celebrate the stars, the Hall of Famers. But men like Rich, they represent the soul of football. Because behind every Pro Bowl quarterback is an O-lineman who blocks for him in silence. And behind every team's success are players who never made the front page, but never stopped giving everything. Rick Stevens was the man who wouldn't quit. That's his legacy. From Tulsa to WLAF, from heartbreak to Raiders silver, his journey reminds us, the NFL ain't fair. Talent don't always get you there. But grit, that'll carry you farther than a stopwatch ever could. And you know what touched me most? The fans. You scroll through the tributes and it ain't just rip. It's rest up big man. And once a Raider, always a Raider. That tells you all you need to know. Rich wasn't just a number. He was a Raider brother. Even folks who never watched him live, they paid respect. Because when a man earns his way through the mud, through rejection, through every kind of no, he becomes a symbol. Everybody ain't gonna be Patrick Mahomes, but you can still be Rich Stevens. You can fight through life's setbacks. You can take every closed door and find a window. You can grind in the shadows and still leave a legacy. Because in the end, life ain't about the trophy. It's about how many times you got knocked down and got up swinging. Rick swung till the final bell. That's the definition of a fighter. That's the Raider way. So from one brother of the game to another, Rick, I see you. I see every long day in the weight room. Every night you questioned if it was worth it. Every snap where you got no credit. Every game where you left a piece of your body on the field. We honor you today. Not because you were the loudest, but because you never stopped answering the call. But that's where warriors are made. Stevens didn't play for glory. He played for respect. The kind of respect that earns nods from your teammates, not just claps from the crowd. And by the time he finished his senior year, he was on the radar. Not the top-tier radar, but the kind that whispers, this kid's got something. The NFL draft. You got legends going off the board early. Troy Aikman, Barry Sanders. But in the 9th round, a name gets called. Rich Stevens, drafted by the Cincinnati Bengals. Today, we say goodbye to Rich Stevens, but we also say thank you. Thank you for reminding us what heart looks like. Thank you for proving that it ain't the stars that shine brightest, but the ones that keep burning longest, even when nobody's looking. And Raider Nation, y'all did him proud. Y'all wrapped him in love like only family can. This story right here, it ain't just for football fans. It's for anybody who ever felt like giving up. Rich didn't. And that's why he'll be remembered, not just as a Raider, but as a champion of life.